but even before the film came out, they obviously trigger warning here for people who don't want to listen to this part. They obviously, well, news articles were reporting, the use of restraint scenes in the film. Yeah, like even when they mentioned the restraint scenes in these news articles, I was thinking, right, okay, so this is going to be very, very interesting to watch this film now, because, yeah, like, I'm not, obviously I'm not someone who promotes restraint, because I think restraint is okay to use, but it has to be absolute last resort. It cannot be like something that you use first time to de-escalate a situation, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was something that got brought up.
I was reading up about the restraint side of things, and I didn't realise the severity of it all, because obviously, as you said, it's a last resort. It's something that you shouldn't do unless like you've tried everything else. But a lot of children have actually died from it, which is very upsetting. How C is promoting the use of it so early on in the situation, when it's killed so many people.
Yeah, that is the thing that a lot of us were concerned about. Obviously, the fact that it's killed people, and also as well, it in common practice, especially. Well, obviously, I'm going by UK standards, but it's like promoted as like the last resort. Like, obviously, people are trained in it as well. As if it's like professionals. It is something that they can get trained in, but it is just like last resort. And when I watched the film for the first time, they see it obviously apologized before the film came out, and said there were going to be like all of these changes done to it. The restraint scenes were going to be taken out of future printings. So I knew going into it that the restraint scenes would still be there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the restraint scenes came in 20 minutes and 40 minutes into the film, which is like, okay, so we're tackling this straight on right now. Okay. The first scene was bad enough because like Ebo like restrained the character. It was full body restraint, so arms, legs, all that sort of stuff. It was also like him saying, "Oh, I'm crushing her with my love," like because Zoo, who is Music's sister, was concerned about this thing, and Ebo was saying, "I'm crushing her with my love," and I was saying to you yesterday, wasn't
It's yeah.
I took a 5-minute break from that. I was just like, that's like the worst line you can say.
And the fact is, it's so memorable as well. It's one of the things that people are going to remember, and the less educated of those people, they're going to think it's okay, and that you are crushing them with your love. When really, that's not what's happening.
Yeah, it's it just wasn't. It wasn't. Just I don't understand what Sia was thinking about with that line, to be honest. But then 20 minutes later into the film, Zoo's played by Kate Hudson in Music, for those who aren't aware. 20 minutes later in the park, similar situation happens with Music, where she gets overloaded with sensory stuff, which causes her to become agitated, and kind of Ebo in the middle of this park starts to teach Zoo how to restrain Music in the middle of this park, which was just so uncomfortable, because one, it's just an uncomfortable situation. Like, you just don't do that normally. 20 minutes before in the film, Zoo was like the complete opposite, really worried, all of that stuff, and then she's doing it herself. So it was like a complete flip on kind of the character's morality, and just all that sort of stuff, which I thought was just very bizarre. And also, again, and I mentioned this to you yesterday as well, and it's something that by talking to other people, I think it should have been included. It's just the education around it. Like, even if, and again, I'm not endorsing restraint at all, but even if, the scenes were included, but there was education on, this is like not the way to do it. There are other ways of doing it. I would have been okay. I wouldn't have been happy, but I would have been at least. I would have at least thought to myself, okay, there's actual education on, like, this is not the best way to do it. There are obviously other ways of doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one thing I felt is that, as you mentioned, that in the earlier scenes, Ebo knew what he was doing, but I can't remember the characters' names. I'm so sorry. What's the other one? The sister of music.
Zoo.
Zoo, yeah, that's it. Zoo didn't have a clue what was happening, and I find it particularly dangerous how she has no clue what she's doing. So it's bad enough restraining in the first place, let alone having someone that's never done it before learning to do it in a situation where it's in a public place as well. I think that just makes it even worse than the original situation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just absolutely crazy.